Low visibility in spots due to some dense morning fog.
Tonight we've got fog along the river and into western Iowa, zero visibility.
Which is being impacted not only by the fog that still seems to be fairly dense at this hour.
Outside Heathrow Airport, the air traffic control tower is barely visible. Emerging from the fog, this plane is one of the flights that made it.
Here I was reading my comment just this morning, and here is one of our subscribers, Rescue Baby Birds, had this to say. I don't know if this is important, but there is a strange fog the last several days, causing close of airports around the world, people getting sick. It is unlike natural fog in quite a few states in the United States and the UK. I am thinking the world is being prepared for the coming of this last Antichrist, and they see unusual things happening in nature and in the weather. I tell everyone I know about this coming Sunday law.
For the last 7 days, the world has been shrouded in a veil of mystery, an unrelenting fog that stretches from the poop-covered streets of Portland, Oregon, to the quietest corners of the countryside. This is no ordinary weather phenomenon. It's a dense, suffocating mist with an unsettling smell of chemicals lingering in the air. Residents in every corner of the globe have reported seeing strange, glittering particles suspended within it, almost as if the fog is alive, hiding secrets within its depths. The fog has already claimed lives, 4 catastrophic plane crashes in just 1 week.
This is a huge statement. And I began to do some research to find out what's happening here. Friends, we got some stuff to share with you. This research has taken me down a rabbit hole. Rescue Baby Birds, thank you for setting the stage for today's video. Now, listen, let's first begin with what the Bible says. We are told in 1 John chapter 4, verse 18, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has torment, for he that feareth is not made perfect in love. There is an element behind most of these movements, is to create the element of fear. And wherever there is fear, there is torment. And in torment, there's punishments and control, and people give in their freedom. This is a concept that the enemy has been using for centuries. Having said that, let me read a quotation for you here before we move to the next part of our video. The agencies of evil are combining their forces and consolidating. They are strengthening for the last great crisis. Great changes are soon to take place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. So Satan and his agencies of evil are putting things together in such a way to bring about the final movements. Now, do the fog have any level of spiritual or prophetic implication that we can find in the Bible? Wait to see what you're about to discover today. Friends, listen, let's get to this video. Now, these are the type of pictures that are coming on the screens that many are reporting. This is what this fog looks like. So some of these pictures you are seeing here are part of the United States, and I got a few more things to share with you as well. And again, this is London, all in London alone. This is what these fogs look like. This is strange. This is different. This is not an ordinary type of fog. The great controversy has something in here that is going to open your eyes about these final events. And we're going to talk about that. And for anybody who wants to get a copy of this, you can go to the Great Controversy Project, and there is the website. You can look it up and get a free copy of this book. So on my X account, I begin to do a little bit of digging and begin to listen to some of the testimonies of people and what's being reported about this fog all around the world. Now, this is what it says. This is happening in Florida, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, California. This is a different degree of fogs. This is not normal. It's grainy. It's sandy looking. This is not normal. So now that's why people are pointing out. Here is another video. Yeah, they're saying, somebody said, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I am pretty sure fog isn't supposed to look like that. This is what they say. Say the natural fogs don't look like that. The one that God has made, they don't look like that. That is a fact. Wake up. Somebody said this looks absolutely poisonous. Now, Look at this. So you get the sense of what every time they shine the light on this, it doesn't look very normal at all. So I can understand why people are very concerned and disturbed by this. So let's go a little bit more. Here is a testimony of an individual speaking about these fogs.
Looks like it's conclusive. FogVid 24 is a real thing. The previous video is going viral. If you go and read the comment section, everybody's saying they were completely fine. They didn't feel anything coming on. But then as soon as they went out in this fog, whatever it is, they got a sore throat, they had to go to bed, they couldn't sleep, they were bunged up, they had migraines, they lost all their energy. And not only them, everyone in the household. There's mums reporting on it saying all the kids are ill. We've got people in Kentucky, we've got people in Sweden, we've got people in Finland, all reporting the same thing. The fog has made them sick. And you know, it's scenarios like this that always have an adverse effect. Whatever they're doing in the skies, whatever they're spraying, whatever this fog is, they're obviously doing it for a reason, but it is going to wake people up. People have had enough. They're sick of being poked, they're sick of being prodded, they're sick of poison in the air and poison in the food, poison in the milk, poison in the minds. We're being pummeled in more ways we can imagine to demoralise us over a period of time, so when things get to a critical point and everyone's screaming out for a saviour, the government's going to be there, but they were the ones that created the problem in the first place.
Sounds like order out of chaos to me. It sounds like the Hegelian dialectic to me. So these are the things that people are reporting. Here is another testimony of another man speaking about these fogs again. Let's take a listen.
All right, so it's crazy foggy right now. But that's not the weird part, okay? Like, number one, it's weird because as it gets later in the day, fog should lighten, dissipate, and it's really not. But the weirdest part is the taste and smell. It smells like after you set off a bunch of fireworks, and like the taste of the air is, I mean, the only word I can think of is toxic. It's super weird. And so I'm going for my walk and it's kind of worrying me a little bit. Let me know if you guys are experiencing something like that. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, it smells not right. And I'm 41. I've been through fog. This is something different. Let me know if you guys are experiencing something like that.
Yeah, so what people are reporting is that this thing is making them sick. It is not normal. It smells like some strange chemical. This is not natural. This is what's being reported. And I tell you what, I believe these people more than I believe the mainstream media. Here is a video of a lady now who is explaining of another lady who has found this in her pool. This is what she's found in her pool, waking up in the morning. Tell me, is this normal?
Okay. Calling in all reinforcements. Need your help on this one. My friend who lives in East Texas woke up today and this is what was in her pool. Now, she's lived in this property for over 11 years. Never has had anything like this happen before. No, she did not change any chemical regimen in her pool. The only thing that she says that was kind of weird was there was some really odd fog yesterday. But I've tried to look it up too. I can't find anything that would lead to anything like this happening or any reaction with water. So if anybody has any idea, any water experts out there, I know I have a few or at least one following my page. We need your help. All right, guys. Thanks so much in advance for your help. Let me know if you have any ideas.
I wonder how many of you that are watching this video right now is either facing something similar to that you want to report and share with us. Please let me know. You can reach us on the channel and so that we can talk about this. Now, there are a number of theories out there trying to explain what is going on. And we don't necessarily know because the media is not saying too much. And again, the government is silenced. Therefore, the people are trying to figure it out, doing their own independent journalist kind of work. So one of the theories that is coming up is some people are saying this has to do with the chemtrails. Different than the regular chemtrails, there is something that is manipulative, that is psychological behind what is happening here, and they're making a connection to the fogs as well.
Contrails, not the chemical, the contrails occur because of cold air, minus 30. It takes a high altitude, around 30,000 feet plus. There's carbon dioxide and water vapor in that exhaust. That turns to ice crystals, and that's what you see, the white stream behind it. Those white crystals of ice warm up, dissolve, and the smoke goes away. And it never lasts more than a minute. What we're seeing now, and I first could not believe it, and I started looking at the skies, and these are not normal. They're not natural.
I'm here to give you testimony that chemtrails are indeed real. They're spraying almost every day. I watch the clouds and watch the spraying program going on. I want to tell you that we're in very great danger from the pollution that's coming down over us. And we've been led astray by the military-industrial complex, and they're responsible for the clouds creation and weather manipulation programs. They're dark operations. That's why they're not out in the media.
There's a huge amount of aluminum being found because these sprays have aluminum, strontium, barium, manganese, and there's a lot of argument that aluminum is very common to be found, but aluminum is only common in a bonded form. It's not common in a free form, and we're finding high rates of free aluminum in the soil, which is not natural.
So this whole debate about chemtrails, what it is and what it's not, what the effects are, and what's happening in the air, it's not a new thing as well. Some of it has started conspiracy theory. I think there's something there we need to look into. These people cannot be crazy all saying the same thing. But I will tell you what, I began to do a little bit more digging about this, and I was led to look into this. As I was on X, somebody posted, think the fog is normal. Look up US 1338343A. Well, I did. Friends, whew, I went into a whole nother world. This code is a patent for a process, an apparatus to create intense artificial clouds, fogs, or mist. And the way this is done, it is the hydrolyzed anhydrous chloride in the moist, anomalical atmosphere, then add a substance to create the fog's opacity. So now, this has been around since 1917, we are told. And I began to keep looking. And I discovered this. And I'm not sure how much of this you can see. I know it's a little bit. There it is. United States Patent Office. And there in the document, they are discussing exactly what is happening here behind this code. Now, this is I don't have time to go through every single details here, but the name of Paul Weiss, he's a pen again, and Jules Verdier is mentioned here as well. And there are some few witnesses highlighted talking about this. Now, doing some more digging, I keep digging. There it is, according to Justia.com, is speaking about the apparatus system for smart seeding within clouds formation. So guess what? This is a thing. This is a thing. This is the machine that some have made reference to that that Paul Weiss and also Jules Wilder has created, whereby they can create these artificial fogs. And what they're saying is that this is being spread by airplanes in the sky. If this is the case, I don't necessarily know. These are the allegations, okay? So another person posted, US 1338334A, and the individual posted on X refers to a patient titled Process and Apparatus for the Production of an Intense Artificial Clouds, Fogs, or Mist. The patient was granted on April 27, 1920. The inventors Paul Weiss or Paris or Jules Verdier of Enhain, France. It describes a method, an apparatus designed to create artificial clouds, fogs, or mist for various purposes, potentially including military camouflage or weather modification. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Weather modification? Where have I heard this before? So I kept on looking. I came across this video. A century of cloud sending began to spray electric sand from airplane as describes in this 1929 issue of Popular Science. Yes, 1929. Listen to what this is saying. We're just going to take a few segments from this. It's a 6-minute video. We're going to take the first 2 minutes.
Even though the truth has been obscured, the missing puzzle pieces can be found. In a May 1923 issue of Popular Science, aviation pioneer Orville Wright gives an eyewitness account of early weather manipulation experiments using methods strikingly similar to modern cloud seeding. The accepted geoengineering narrative maintains that 100 years ago, no one had even thought of such a thing, much less attempted it. Yet, electric sand technology was surprisingly advanced. Notably, they weren't just using airplanes, balloons were also part of their toolkit. This raises some big questions. Could these meteorological practices date back further, possibly even before the birth of the airplane? The process of using electrically charged powdered sand to encourage raindrop formation is essentially cloud seeding in an early form. Could this also be an example of military technology making its way into the public sphere long after the government had already been using it? The recent demonstration of 2 scientists who claim to be able to make at will rain by precipitating clouds or sunshine by dispelling fog. Their efforts, unlike those of other experimenters, have been based on chemistry rather than meteorology. Think of it. Rain when you want it, sunshine when you want it, man in control of the heavens, to turn them on or shut them off as he wishes. It seems incredible, but it will be a scientific reality of tomorrow.
Now, the question is, do you really believe that the federal government has the ability to control the weather? I'll let you decide on that.
Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman of Georgia, is now saying the federal government is literally controlling the weather. We're controlling the weather. It's beyond ridiculous. It's got to stop. In moments like this, there are no red or blue states. There's one United States of America, where neighbors are helping neighbors. Volunteers and first responders are risking everything, including their own lives, to help their fellow Americans. State, local, and federal officials are standing side by side. Let me repeat, no one should make the American people question whether their governments will be making sure that this is acting when it strikes. They'll be there. We will.
All right, this is the sitting president speaking now. And again, this is an old video. We're just making an application. Have you ever wondered? Fogs are in the air, drones are in the air, people are concerned about this and that. Where is the government? Where have they come out with a serious briefing showing the level of investigation being done to figure out what's happening? What else are people supposed to think? If you're not speaking about it, if you're not addressing it, investigating it, so guess what we're gonna think? Are you behind this? Have you approved this? Or is it that you don't care or you just don't know? I'll let you decide on that.
Well, hello there. How's everybody doing? We are almost to the end of 2024, but we wouldn't make it to a new year without some fun and chaotic weather, right? So that being said, guys, I'm just curious. I see a lot of people talking about this fog. There's been a dense fog, not like a normal fog. I know I live in Florida. There's a lot of foggy weather. I get it. But this is happening all over the U.S. And this fog is, like I said, there's a different texture to it. But not only that, when it happened here, I got sick. I got super sluggish. I had a sore throat. I didn't feel well at all. I wasn't hungry. But most of all, it was weird. I couldn't sleep. And now I'm starting to see these videos come up of people in like Houston, all up through the even more north. This fog is making people sick. What's even crazier is, I guess in 2 weeks in Florida, we're supposed to have a temperature of like around 20 degrees. The low is supposed to be 19 degrees in Florida in 2 weeks. Huh? It's like 82 right now. How?
Now, let me tell you what's happening prophetically now that I would like to share with you. I'm going to read from the book, The Great Controversy. And by the way, Stephen Bannon had received one of these books and he was commenting on that. I don't think he accepted the book. He was simply commenting on how the book that was handed to him, he knew somebody while he was in federal prison whose life has been transformed by reading The Great Controversy. Take a listen.
Okay, Danbury Federal Prison, my cellmate, Tim Hunsberger, had converted from being he would tell you, a convict into being very religious through his readings. Is it Miss White's books and the Seventh-day Adventists? Now, I haven't studied it. I don't know anything about Seventh-day Adventists, but I tell you one thing: it had a powerful impact on a guy who was a criminal. It changed his life and really saved his life. He's a good man. He's one of the best men I ever met, and this entire faith actually changed his life. So for the folks in Danbury, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, they go up every Friday night to the prison and they hold a service with Tim and the crew there. I want to thank you guys very much for reaching out to those prisoners. It means a lot to the convicts.
Wonderful.
Thank you, brother.
So having heard that, let's take a listen to the book. Let's read some passages in the book. And again, like I've said, if you want to get a copy of this, you want to go to the Great Controversy Project 2.0, and you can get a free copy for yourself. So here is the first quotation I want to speak about that I think has an element to that which is happening today. And we spoke about the element of fear, which is at the root of every deception at the end of the day. But we do have to understand, based on what the Bible says and also the spirit of prophecy, the inspired writings of Ellen G. White, we have some serious prophetic events outlined that you and I need to pay attention to. In the page 589, paragraph 3 of the book, The Great Controversy, this is what it said. While appearing to the children of men as a great physician who can heal all their maladies, he, Satan, will bring disease and disaster until populous cities are reduced to ruin and desolation. Even now he is at work in accidents, in calamities by sea and by land, in great conflagration, in fierce tornadoes, and terrific hailstorms and tempests, floods, cyclones, tidal waves, and earthquakes. In every place, in thousands of forms, Satan is exercising his power. He sweeps away the ripening harvest, and famine and distress follow. He imparts to the air a deadly taint. A deadly taint. A deadly taint. Wow. And thousands perish by the pestilence. So these deadly taints are connected to pestilences. Could the fog be applied here? I'll let you decide. These visitations are to become more and more frequent and disastrous. Destruction will be upon both men and beast. That's not the end of the story. We're going to come back to that paragraph, but let me add this one here. GC 589, paragraph 2. Satan works through the elements also to garner his harvest of unprepared souls. He has studied the secrets of the laboratories of nature. He uses all his power to control the elements as far as God allows. Wow, this is interesting. Listen now. He did this to Job, but we're going to fast forward. It is God that shields his creatures and edges them in from the power of the destroyer. But the issue is that the Christian world has casting away the law of Jehovah. And the Lord will do just as he has declared that he would. He will withdraw his blessing from the earth and remove his protecting care from those who are rebellions against his law and the teaching forcing others to do the same. Listen very carefully to what happens next. Satan has control of all whom God does not especially guard. He will favor and prosper some in order to further his own designs. He will bring trouble upon others and lead men to believe that it is God who is afflicting them. So you've seen the events happening in different ways, plethora of events. One thing, one calamity after another. We were just dealing with the drones. We are not even done with that. Here are the fogs coming on. And planes are crashing now. And some people are saying there's a connection to that. And while we are dealing with this issue, there are yet other instances we have yet to discover. Wars are happening around the world. Rumors of wars, issues are happening here and there. And people are talking about climate change. And now we are dealing with this matter. And look to see where this is going to go. We are told, and the great deceiver will persuade men that those who serve God are causing this evil. The class that has provoked the displeasure of heaven will charge all their troubles upon those whose obedience to God's commandment is a perpetual reproof to transgressors. It will be declared, what will be declared? That men are offending God by the violation of the Sunday Sabbath, and that this sin has brought calamities which will not cease until Sunday observance shall be strictly enforced. And those who present the claim of the fourth commandment thus destroying reverence for Sunday, or troublers of the people, preventing the restoration in divine favor and temporal prosperity. This is a mouthful, and there's so much that could be said. These momentous events are eventually going to lead to the exaltation of Sunday as a solution, and they're going to be an outcry for Sunday to be enforced strictly. And those of us who preach the fourth commandment, the truth of the 7-day Sabbath, are gonna looked upon as the enemy of the state. Friends, we are told, and again, if you want to go deeper into this, I will encourage you to go watch our video with Andy Roman exposing the Sunday movement. A lot more could be said, friends, but I want to hear your thought and perspective. What do you think is going on with these fogs? What elements do you think they have in the light of Bible prophecy? Is this happening to you? If it is, can you send me some videos? You do have my phone number. My phone number is in the description below. You can send it through WhatsApp or you can send it to email. Anyway, friends, I want to hear from you. Share your thought and perspective with me. What do you think is going on here? One of the best ways to get the answer is to read some of my comments, and some of you guys know much more than I do. So let's talk. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.